Maryam alayhi salam is in and of herself an incredibly special woman. The Quran says the greatest woman of all times. But then what happens to Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha? What happens to Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anha? Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, خَيْرُ نِسَائِهَا Maryam wa خَيْرُ نِسَائِهَا Khadija. The best woman of her time, yani zamaniha, the best woman of her time was Maryam, and the best woman of her time was Khadija. So you have a debate here, right? Was Maryam alayhi salam the greatest woman of all time or just her time? And then you have Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anha. And the answer with Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anha, and this is the daughter of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha, and she has the traits of her father sallallahu alayhi wasallam and her mother radiallahu ta'ala anha. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, she is Sayyidatu Nisa al-Jannah. She is the master, the queen of the women of Jannah, except for Maryam bint Imran alayhi salam. So what do we take with all of this? Well, first of all, though at the apparent meaning, you find Maryam alayhi salam is indeed the greatest woman of all times, you're comparing perfection to perfection. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that Maryam alayhi salam, Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha, Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anha, Asiya radiallahu ta'ala anha are women who perfected their faith. There is no deficiency. And the ulama talk about Maryam in many ways. I mean, subhanAllah, a woman who is not just named in the Quran has a whole chapter named after her in the Quran. A woman who, has virtue after virtue after virtue that is mentioned to us. A woman who, some of the ulama of the past, this of course would have been solved the debate, right? Some of the ulama of the past considered her to be a prophet in and of herself, like Imam al-Qurtubi and Ibn Hazm, rahimahumullah ta'ala. And even if that is a minority view, right, then it still says something about her virtue, because those that did not consider her to be a prophet in her own right did not exclude her from prophethood because of a deficiency on her part, but because of what they define a prophet as, the duties and responsibilities of a Nabi of Allah. What are the similarities when we look through them? Maryam alayhi salam carried Isa alayhi salam in her womb. And when Jibreel alayhi salam came to her and told her what this was about, that this was a sign from Allah, not a sign of Allah's displeasure for you, that this is a test that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to see you through, that this baby that you have just given birth to is a blessed baby. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say Maryam alayhi salam did when she got that news? فَأَتَتْ بِهِ قَوْمَهَا تَحْمِلُ. She went to her people carrying Isa alayhi salam, knowing that they might kill her, knowing that they would insult her, slander her, and kill her, because Maryam alayhi salam was not married. Maryam alayhi salam had no husband. Maryam alayhi salam, at-tahira, the pure one, Maryam alayhi salam never did anything that would humanly bring a baby into this world. And she knew that her people would do all sorts of things. But once it was clear to her that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had a mission and a purpose for this baby that she carried, when Jibreel alayhi salam came to her, what did she do? She went to her people with full confidence, carrying her baby. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to see me through this. And not only that, she's not allowed to defend herself, right? Because she is in a vow of silence, of siyam. So she has to wait to see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will defend her and clear her, but she knows that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will clear her name and defend her, and that's exactly what happens.